Question 1015. Would you rather be able to understand what squirrels are saying, or have the ability to predict earthquakes 90 minutes before they happen?
Well, I'd say that to my immediate situation, let's have a look. Is he out there right now? No, he's not. But we do have a regular squirrel that visits, so it'd be interesting to know what he's thinking. So I'd say on a what would serve humanity a little bit better, it'd be predicting earthquakes. But to my own immediate situation, yeah, a lot of squirrels around here.
So you talk to squirrels?
Well,
not talk.
I don't know.
Be able to understand.
I don't know. I mean, in terms of being something better, I mean, in terms of something that's going to be more beneficial to people, predicting earthquakes, I feel is going to be better.
Fuck the squirrels. Nope. They're all cunts.
They're all cunts.
Oh.
And if you understand them, they might cause the.
Hold on. Sorry.
Squirrel watch.
Cyril says you're a bitch, Manda.
I know I am, so it's not like he's wrong. Fine.
The fact that the squirrel network has reached this far is quite intriguing.
He says you're. He says he's going to come and steal. He's going to come and steal nuts from you.
Okay.
He's going to visit Ireland. Seraphim says, "Would people believe me about the earthquakes? I'm sure they would after the first few.
Yeah.
But the problem is you've got to be close to it to be able to predict it. It's not like a remote
You
skill.
did not stipulate that.
Yeah, Dave, you didn't stipulate that at all.
Of course.
That's true, Dave. No, you're lying. You didn't.
You have to be relatively close.
Well, it depends on relative. I'm going to pick the earthquakes because I got a brother in San Francisco and I'd like to be able to warn him if anything was coming.
You probably want to be within 50 miles.
And in that case, definitely the squirrels.
If you're within 50 miles, you're going to get nailed by the same earthquake. What kind of
you've got 90 minutes to get away.
You ain't going to get
but
far
you have the means to get away.
You would have if you had the skill.
Yeah, if you had a helicopter, maybe, and carry it around with you.
I mean, you don't even need to get away from an earthquake. You just need to get somewhere safe. Squirrels don't really have earthquakes around here, says Seraphim says, what people... No, I already answered that. Doc says, I want the power to predict squirrel quakes. You can't have that. It's totally made up and fabricated.
Cyril disagrees with you.
What's a squirrel quake?
He's just making things up. I don't understand why he has to bring this fanciful stuff into a proper quiz.
It's either an earthquake made by squirrels all jumping together at the same time, or else it's squirrels just all wiggling together.
He says it's a combination.
They're too small. I could see sharks pulling that off, but not squirrels.
He says if I get the red squirrels on board as well, what's left?
You can't talk to them. You can't talk to them.
I'm not talking to them. I'm just communicating what they're saying to you.
There you go.
I want to know what Badger thinks of this one.
Yeah, I know, right?
Badger.
Mushroom.
Chad says, personal reasons, earthquakes to save people. Clearly I want to Doolittle this shit, though. You could have squirrel spies, but how would you tell them where to go? You can't communicate with them. Antjer says, squirrels, I always want to know what animals are thinking. I don't see the use in predicting an earthquake. It's not like you can stop it.
If you can understand what they're thinking in some way, you can find a way of communicating, Dave.
Maybe very basic.
Not necessarily. Yeah. So your premise fails.
Santi says, if I could talk to them squirrels, I'll take over the world in 2 days. Seraphim says, also squirrels. Ricardo says, clarifying question. Would it be public knowledge that I could predict earthquakes? I assume it would become public knowledge. Sammy says, if it's every earthquake on the planet, then you'd never get a rest as an earthquake several times a day. Yes, there is, but it's not. It's only a relatively local.
So we're talking an earthquake. We're talking an earthquake with some consequences here. Yes.
Yes. Yes. We're talking about the level of prediction that some animals seem to be able to do.
Oh dear! Oh dear! SG1 is fucking getting canes in this bowl.
Right, I'll fix it when I get off. Go on, Amanda. To be fair, so Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah.
You say that?
Did you just fucking fuck?
You say
Hold
that
on.
there's like less than 2% difference between Star Wars and TNG. The Stargate is quite considerably in the distant third.
I want to be. Ricardo says, I want to be a crazy squirrel guy. It won't stand. I'll find somewhere to post it. Santi says, you can prevent earthquakes. Who do you even call? Who'd believe you? What you could really prevent? I think the problem is, I think you would only have to be around to predict 2 or 3 and tell the authorities before it became obvious that you could predict them. I mean, these are the sorts of things that, you know, if psychics could do, people would start believing them. Right. I think, did everyone answer? No, they didn't. No one answered. Manda.
What was the question?
Be
No,
able to
I
understand.
said fuck the squirrels. We all
thought you
answered,
did.
Dave. We did.
Math Pig.
Pretty much. No, Math Pig, you didn't answer, honey.
I was the first person to answer.
What with?
I didn't
Sorry.
answer.
Totally paying attention.
What did you say, Math Pig?
Earthquakes.
Earthquakes. Jenny.
I didn't answer. I think I would like to know. Oh boy. I guess earthquakes. 'Cause if you could save a life, that'd be worth it.
Granny. Oh, you went
I
squirrels
already
in the end.
answered.
You did. Santi says you'll be arrested for causing earthquakes. He's not wrong. You would have the power. You could use that, couldn't you? We talked in the past when if you could predict an eclipse more than a few hundred years ago.
Sufficient technology is magic.
Exactly. If you could predict an earthquake, you could turn around and say, "Give me this, or I am going to make the ground shake." You do that half a dozen times nowadays in America, and people will be worshipping you.
Why
Brainwood
was
says,
it just in America?
because your people are batshit crazy. No, because it's not just America. There's other places in the world that would do it as well. That are deeply that are so invested in their religious beliefs that they will accept it blindly, even though scientists are going, "Of course he's not fucking doing it."
But yeah, America is batshit crazy still.
Not all
Rainbow
of us,
says-
though.
Once you prove you can predict earthquakes, there is no limit to the things you can convince people you are able to predict. And never again says, and then they kill you too. This is the problem I've got. If you could accurately predict earthquakes, I'm not convinced the government wouldn't kidnap you, keep you in a box, and move you around the country. You only got 90 minutes warning, and you can do it from 50 miles, which means they could basically they could keep you in the air potentially, flying around. As an
That's
early
the
warning.
thing. But that's the thing. See, I could keep an eye on the government.
Could you? Again,
Yeah.
you can't communicate with the squirrels.
I can. I will be able to after a while. If I can understand them, I will be able to find a way of communicating. Now, it might not be for direct speech, maybe
go.
for a form of.
Never again says, I am totally convinced they would do that exactly.
Government. If the government could kidnap any of you for predicting earthquakes, I will cause a squirrel quake.
Will you?
Yeah.
None of our governments just randomly picks people up and kidnaps them, do they?
That would be wrong, Dave.
That would be very wrong.
I'm doing it here right
That's
now.
never happened.
Yeah, they're
Are
doing
they?
it here in Portland, and they're threatening to do it in other places.
I'd like to see them try to do it in Atlanta. I really would. Just see them try.
If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.